Welcome to the newest installment of the Untitled Film Nerd Project. My name is Philip, and joining me as always is Teacher.
Hello.
We march on with our 5th annual 31 Days of Horror, where we watch a different horror movie every single night in October. Today marks day 2, and our movie for tonight was Upgrade. Before we get into it, spoiler warning now! If you want to avoid spoilers, skip ahead to the time code you see on the screen. So let's get right into the cast and crew rundown. This was written and directed by Leigh Whannell. This is one of those things, like, we talk about the movies, in afterthoughts and whatnot. And we talk about, like, and you have me look them up or check them out on IMDb, and I go there. I remember looking this one up. And the cool thing is, like, if we go more than a week or two, I forget what the movie was about. Mm-hmm. Including who directed it. Because I remember looking it up, and I was like, oh, Leigh Whannell. You're like, yeah. And then it ended, I was like, oh, wow, Leigh Whannell. So I had, like, self-induced deja vu. I was like, ah. He has written Saw 2, 3, Dead Silence, Insidious 2, 3, 4, and Cooties, among others. And this is his second directing gig. He did Insidious 3, and Upgrade, this one. So, huge improvement from Insidious 3.
Indeed.
The main character, Gray, was Logan Marshall Green. He has been in Prometheus, Devil, Spider-Man Homecoming, and the awesome Invitation. Mm-hmm. Asha was Melanie Vallejo. She was in Power Rangers Mystic Force. That's all I know. I didn't recognize anything that she was. I was like, I'll write something down. So there you go. But I'm only doing, like, major players. The creator, Aaron Keane, was played by Harrison Gilbertson. He has been in Haunt, Fallen, and he has either upcoming or it's out now, I'm not sure, Picnic at Hanging Rock, the remake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Detective Cortez was Betty Gabriel. She has been in Get Out. I knew I recognized her.
Yes.
I think she was the maid.
Yes.
In Get Out, yeah, Georgina. She was also in Purge Election Year.
Yeah.
And Unfriended 2, among others. And then STEM was voiced by Simon Maiden, an Australian actor who's been in lots of stuff, but nothing that I really recognize as, oh, he was in that, Mm-hmm. So that's cast and crew, unless you have anyone else to add.
No.
All right, let's get into our initial thoughts. After remembering that it was directed by Leigh Whannell, pretty fucking impressed.
Yeah.
Dude definitely saved himself in my eyes as a director. He's always been a decent writer, but Insidious 3 was just balls. It was awful.
And as we've discussed in the past, that we have our theory that Insidious 3 was a lot of studio interference.
Exactly. Yeah. But then the last key didn't do much to help.
No.
But he didn't direct it, so.
No.
This started out, you think this is your typical someone is wronged, that someone spends rest of movie getting revenge. Mm-hmm. It was like that, but with a twist.
Yes.
And it was in the future. It was in the future, but it was also grounded enough in, like, modern reality to not feel too shiny. Mm-hmm. Their house did, and Aaron's house did, but the actual world itself just felt like it was in the transition stage of, like, the future we see in movies. This is the transition stage, where it starts going to that shiny, metallic, everything's pristine looking kind of thing. And interesting way to set the movie. Interesting premise, interesting plot, and really dug the little plot twist.
Yes.
I thought it was like, okay, cool. This became more than just your typical revenge movie. Awesome. So all in all, I really liked it. It had a lot of hype behind it before I watched it. Like seeing it online and, people talking about it and stuff. And yeah, the time went by really fast.
Agreed.
Really, really fast. And yeah, I dug it. What about you?
100% everything else that you had said. This is one where all my friends had already seen it.
Oh, okay.
So I heard all the hype from them, and part of hearing all that hype was everyone telling me that it was totally worth the hype.
Okay.
And I completely agree. Pacing was fantastic. Mm-hmm. Camera work was fantastic. Mm-hmm. Acting on with Marshall Green, is that his name?
Logan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Acting from him, his body language was fantastic.
Just the choreography, not even of the fight scenes. Those were awesome.
Yeah, just him
But
doing everyday
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, like he did robotic really well.
Uh-huh.
So I totally agree. I wrote that in my notes actually. That it's like the choreography in this movie, from fight scenes to just Gray moving around, was really well done.
And then I had my theory on what the twist would be, and it was, the most obvious theory.
Mm-hmm.
And then it did an extra twist, and I was
Mm-hmm.
extremely pleased by that.
I think that's why I dug it as well, because it was like another twist on top of
Hmm.
which we saw the first twist coming. We knew that Aaron was like going to be the bad guy, but not seeing ahead and even farther ahead to see that it was actually STEM that made him do it.
Yes.
So if you have not seen the movie and you're still listening, hey, I gave you the spoiler warning.
And then to give us that not a happy ending, too, was
Yeah, yeah,
very pleasant.
yeah. It was, but it wasn't. In fantasy, it was, but in reality, nope. STEM got its human host,
Hmm.
and yeah, yeah, it was very clever,
Yes.
very clever. So, major kudos to Leigh for redeeming himself in a big, big way. All right, what was your favorite scene?
My favorite scene was probably going to be like the first fight scene.
Okay, yeah.
Because that's, when we were first like seeing what STEM was capable of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And yeah, I mean that was just very well done and very entertaining.
Yeah, it really started to show, like we talked about how Logan did a good job.
Hmm.
Him reacting to this new situation. It's also my favorite scene. And it almost felt like a Jekyll and Hyde.
Yes.
This voice is Mr. Hyde, and Dr. Jekyll's like, "What are you doing? Stop." So it's cool watching him go from like STEM to Gray, back to STEM, back to Gray. It was really neat.
I do have two runner-ups.
Okay.
The first one is right after the surgery, and it was Gray learning that he can walk and raising his hands and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was very much reminding me of Frankenstein.
I wrote in my notes, "It's alive."
Yeah,
I wrote that down.
it,
Nice.
it, it was very well done.
Yeah, yeah.
And my second runner-up is not even in the film. It was the beginning credits.
Those were interesting.
Yeah,
That was
having
very
the
interesting.
robot voice
Yeah,
read off the credits to us. Like,
yeah,
I was like, what? This is cool.
yeah. Because I didn't know what this movie was about because I forgot.
Hmm.
So I'm sitting there thinking, what the hell? Okay. Are we sure this is supposed to be horror? What? I mean, it wasn't. So yeah, I agree with everything you said. And our favorite scenes are the same.
Yay.
What was your holy shit moment?
Holy shit moment. There was a lot,
Yeah.
but probably a dude's exploding head.
Right on. Mine was the first kill where he just pretty much like cut that dude's
Oh.
jaw. I was just like, whoa! Was not expecting that. Because after that, it's like, okay, anything can happen now. Before that, I thought he was just going to beat him up. Nope, he like just cut his head almost in two.
Yeah, if you had any illusions about how violent this movie was going to get.
If you are someone like us who appreciates satisfying death scenes, this movie will deliver.
Yes.
Almost, almost. We'll get to that later. If any, LOL moment.
Probably just I can't think and pinpoint an exact moment right
Mm-hmm.
now, but probably just a lot of Gray's reaction to STEM.
Yeah, I wrote almost the same exact thing. I wrote Gray's deadpan
Hmm.
to the situation. So yeah, again, I can't pick one like you said, but Logan's acting to the STEM
Hmm.
thing was just really, really well done. So there's not one specific like ha 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 moment, but just his deadpan at being like, what the hell is going on, was really, really awesome.
Hmm.
If any, mediocre moment.
I'm wondering if it's what you were alluding to. The main henchman's death?
The guy with all the tech?
Yeah, the dude with the horrible mustache.
No, that's not my That's not my mediocre.
Oh, okay.
But it was horrible, yes.
Yeah. He deserved a much grandiose.
That was going to be my mediocre moment until the mediocre moment happened.
Mm-hmm.
Mine was when Stem stabbed Aaron in the head with a knife. He wouldn't have died the knife was not protruding that far.
Mm-hmm.
It would have hurt. I'd probably done some minor brain damage, but he wouldn't have died that fast. He collapsed in a heap and was dead. If the knife was like 4 to 6 inches long, maybe. It was maybe an inch long sticking out of his hand. Unless I'm wrong, I don't think an inch knife going into your head in your temple can kill you that fast.
Mm-hmm.
So that was mediocre to me. But runner-up is what you said. Main henchman, his death. I just when I thought the fight was going to get good, because this should have been like a badass knockdown, drag-out fight. And it didn't feel like it was. It wasn't very satisfying. So, if not for the Aaron guy dying so quickly, that would have been mediocre for me. All right, that takes care of our breakdowns. Anything else you'd like to add? You want to go to notes?
Notes is fine.
Let's go to Philip's notes, which are not very long. I wrote, this feels like a sci-fi movie, not a horror movie, which was fine.
Mm-hmm.
Props to Asha on her death scene, because I wrote, that's how you do a death scene.
Yes.
Dear Truth or Dare. That's how you do a death scene. So, kudos to her for that.
Or Dear Aaron.
Speaking of Aaron in the movie reminded me of a little mini Bill Skarsgård.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote early on, but what else could that chip control? ... Foreshadowing. I wrote, please don't show the operation. And they did.
But it was cool that the doctors had digital eye implants.
Yeah. Did you notice that they made the VR people move like zombies?
Oh, did they?
Yeah, like when he was getting his thing hacked, getting stem hacked. Yeah, the people, they were just kind of like lurching and kind of like, a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I couldn't place Logan in this entire movie. His voice sounded so familiar. Like he has a very distinctive voice. And then once I did the cast and crew stuff, like, invitation, okay. It was bugging me. But the dude was pulling off like a Tom Hardy-esque vibe the entire movie.
He always does. Like most of his roles, like there's been several times that it's not Tom Hardy, it's the skinny Tom Hardy.
Nice. And then I like the idea that he's trapped in his own mind. Mm-hmm. And STEM now is a machine, robotic thing that has control of him. And those are all for my notes. Anything else you want to add? You want to go to final thoughts?
Final thoughts is fun.
Overall, I would recommend it. As I said in the initial thoughts, it was really actually very good. And the time went by very fast. And other than a couple of deaths, it was pretty damn spot on and pretty damn flawless.
Yeah.
So I would definitely recommend it.
Yeah, I am probably going to be buying this tomorrow. So
Right on. I'm not sure if I liked it that much, but I'll let it sit for a while. Maybe give me a director's cut with like 10 more minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it was the perfect length. I rarely say that about a movie. I usually think it's going to be longer or shorter, but this was the perfect length. So there you go. Okay, so that takes care of final thoughts. But before we go, as it pertains to Upgrade, what did we learn?
I learned that transhumanism can truly have a dark side.
My thing was, what I learned is like, did no one watch Terminator?
Yeah.
Skynet? No. Bad, no. That being said, though, if they were like, hey, I can put something in your neck and you'll be able to be a normal person again, I would seriously consider it. Just say, seriously consider it. Well, that wraps up day 2 of the 31 Days of Horror. Thank you for listening. Tell us what you thought of the movie in the comments below. If you like the video, please hit the like button, share it with your friends or cool people who might dig the Vizcast. And please subscribe to the channel, including hitting that notification bell to stay up to date on the newest content. Speaking of, for day 3, tomorrow, we will be watching the movie Dead Night, aka Apple Cart. So until tomorrow, once again, my name is Philip.
And I'm TJ.
And we will return then to talk about the movie Dead Night. Goodbye.
Bye.